Well, we're the freaks of the industry.
Train Yourself podcast. This is Dom King. How y'all doing out there? I'm in a way different mood today, and I don't know what's gonna happen on this episode, but here we go. I'm very laid back today. Uh, my mood's not super sexual. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of why I came here with a different mood today. But anyway, I wanted to jump in. Thank you guys for listening to episode 1. I'm hoping many more, and let's just talk about some sexual shit. Let's have some fun with this one today. You know, I'm really just shooting from the hip here. I came with a plan, and I said fuck the plan, and now I'm just sitting here in the studio with my man, engineer here, my good friend, the Inkster, and we said let's still make a fucking episode, even though I'm in this funky ass, weird, non-sexual mood talking about slut training. Where should we begin? Maybe I should just talk to the ladies, man. I gotta talk to them. I gotta talk to y'all. Maybe I gotta speak for the men this time. Maybe I gotta talk about what the fuck we want. What do we need from y'all? Right? Number one, I'm gonna speak for all men here. I'm gonna always say more head. I speak for all men when I say this. That's always something you can do to make us feel really good. More of that, right? Middle of the day. Get it popping. I don't care how much you think you do it right now. It's not enough. I promise. Okay? Ladies, you could be like, I suck his dick 5 times a week. It's not enough. 7 would be really good for him if he's getting 5 now. That's all I'm saying, right? And if you're getting 5, you in real good shape. She's doing work, right? I think 5 is a good number. But let's push that to 7, right? As president of Gray, there's no election. I already am the president of Gray House. All members, let's push the number to 7 average per week. Blowjobs. Let's do that. Yeah, ladies, do that, right? You know, we want to be, ladies want, us fellas, we want the initiation from y'all as much as you want it from us too, right? So come jump on top of us sometimes. You get it popping. I speak for all men when I say this too. I don't care how many times you think you initiate sex. It's not enough. You could do it more. If you think you're doing good, maybe you are. But you could be doing better. And don't take this personally, baby, if I know you're going to listen to the show. It's not about you. But you could be doing it more too. And you do a good job. More is always better. Right? So ladies, okay, that's a good start, right? Keep it sexy. Right? Keep the shit sexy. We want to see you in your element, right? Um, when you men want that expression of femininity, when we all have, all of us live hectic lives, careers, business, kids, juggling, right? All that shit goes away. It's important for us to get away from all that shit for a little bit of time, um, and get into that sexy mode. I think everybody could use more of it. Don't y'all feel me on that? More of everything, right? More of everything. It goes for both. Fellas, you know, eat her pussy more times. However many times you eat her pussy now, I promise you, more times is better. More times, right? We need to spend more time with each other doing this shit. We get so fucking caught up, man. We pass out, we get sleepy, we get tired. Man, make it sexy, right? I don't like the word romantic. I've just never liked that word. But, get into that shit. Get into some romance, right? Make it special for your lady sometimes. Don't just tell her to turn over and blah blah. Make it sexy. This sexual shit, this shit's about healing, you know? Some people might come into this show because it's called Train Your Slut on some perversion shit, but we ain't on no perversion shit. We on some, perversion means it's bad. Perversion means it's negative. When I think of a pervert to me is someone who looks at a 12-year-old girl sexually. That's a fucking pervert. You know what I mean? A fucking, you know, that's a molester shit. We don't deal with perversions, right? We're free. We we're grown and consensual. So keep that shit sexy, yo. Ladies, you know, um, we want we want time with you too, you know? Like I know that's how I operate. More time. Y'all should be spending more time. Sex is a mental thing, yo. Especially especially with a long-term partner. The mentals falls away and the physicals definitely fall away with a long-term partner. Make sure you guys are uh, breathing life into each other on a daily basis. Make time, you know? That's the shit that means shit. There's little things to this stuff, yo, right? Like y'all think being a dominant or just dom sub shit, is all about the bedroom and all the sexual fantasies and stuff, right? But there's little shit involved in this. The day-to-day stuff. It's the day-to-day stuff that you do that is beautiful when you get to express it in the bedroom, right? It's the day-to-day shit that I do is why she'll do anything I tell her to do in the bedroom. That's the motherfucking gold if you want the real shit. I'm an early riser. I'm the first in my family to wake up every day. I bring my wife coffee every morning, like clockwork. She always gets her first cup of coffee by me greeting her up, right? When it's bedroom time, she'll do whatever the fuck I tell her to do because she trusts me like that. Because she already know that I'm not gonna pass her boundaries, right? We still have boundaries. We don't just do anything, right? But within our universe, man, whatever I say goes. Period. It's because you build it up on the day to day things, right? Like me, I'm never a late person, ever. If you've ever had a meeting with me, there's a 99% chance that I was there before you. That goes with meeting my wife, that goes with meeting family, business, anything, right? So, yo, like if if I was late all the time, then I would probably lose a little piece of trust or a little piece of her respect. Oh, this old late motherfucker all the time. You know what I mean? And there's so many different aspects of life, you know, that those things add up. They add up and they add up. And that's why you can't get no. That's why if you, a dude and you can't break through with your woman, the reason why is because there's barriers in the day to day life, right? That's where the barriers are. It's because you faulty in some other shit because you went out to dinner and then you went halves with her, some stupid shit, right? She don't feel protected. You didn't buy her to dinner. Not that I'm saying that. I mean, it's okay to go halves or whatever your financial, stuff is, whatever. That you know the point I'm making when I say that, right? Like if you're doing some shoddy ass shit, it's not even about you going halves, but it's like if you're going halves and then you bought yourself a fucking PS5, but you just went halves with her on the dinner, but you just bought yourself PS5. She's making a little check mark in her brain about that shit. And so 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road, those are those little things she's programming herself to stay away from you a little bit or to not give all of herself to you. And she's got a little check mark list. Trust me, I know my wife has a check mark list. I'm not saying I'm fucking perfect. I got a whole bunch of check marks throughout the fucking years, right? But every time you do some little faulty shit, they check mark a fucking box. More than boxes you got checked, the less you ever gonna break through with her. More you keep your slate clean, better opportunity you have a real healthy, dominant, submissive type of relationship if that's what you're aiming for. Right? And I think most masculine dudes are definitely feeling that, right? And most feminine women are definitely feeling the submissive side of things. And I know there's people that go all sorts of different ways. That's cool. I'm not a hater of any of that shit, but that shit ain't my fucking lane. The only perspective that I can speak on in this show for you guys is a dominant man with a submissive woman and tell you my journey. That's what I'm here to do. A lot of people who know me or who have known me in like my real personal regular life, I think a lot of people could misconceive my relationship as kind of being opposite. My wife is a very strong individual. If you have not met her before, she has a powerful energy, she's outspoken, she's strong, strong, strong. I mean, she's beautiful and sexy too, don't get it twisted. But she has energy. Some people might think that she dominates our relationship by the way it may appear on the outside. Because I'm calm, I'm quiet, I'm the type of guy who just peeps the scene. I'm usually pretty quiet in any room that I am because I'm an observer, I'm a people watcher. But when it comes to my household, my family, the way I run my life, the bedroom, sex life, finances, all that shit, I mean, I'm the master of the domain. I just let my wife be my wife. I'm a big fan of individualism. I love her individual self. That's who I fell in love with. Why would I want to change or I only try to harbor it in a way that's safe for her, right? That's the only thing I've ever tried to do with her is just make sure I can contain, her in a healthy way. She's the phoenix. Anybody who's a comic geek, I've always told my wife she's Jean Grey in the Phoenix. That's who she really is. She rock. That's her passion, and she's that powerful too. She's that powerful. If you know comics, if you're a comic geek, or if you know Jean Grey, the Phoenix, that's my boo. Um, so yeah, yo, I mean that shit's um that's all I can do. I can only speak from my journey. I can only tell it to you from my tale. And that's it. So, you know, the everyday shit, that's important, y'all. So put in your work. If you really want this type of shit, you have to put in the work with your partner. on the day-to-day shit. Ladies, show up to bat for him. You got to be invested too, right? Don't fall away from the little things that he might like about you. It's important to never get comfortable. Like, you don't want that super comfortability, right? Like, I've been with my woman for 20 years and we still, like, you know, we still keep it sexy in the way that we handle ourselves in the home. Our bathroom is our bathroom, our privacy is our privacy. We don't mix that shit up. You know what I mean? I mean, to each his own, yo, but we've always been real big believers that that's the type of shit that can get, kill the bedroom. I mean, pun intended. You know what I mean? Like, don't go there. Try not to go there. Keep it sexy. Stay fresh. Like, if you wouldn't drop a deuce in the bathroom with him on the first date, why would you do it 10 years later? Just keep it, you know what I mean? And vice versa and shit. Don't do that shit. Try to keep it as sexy as possible. I mean, little stuff, little stuff, you know, um, fellas, get yourself together. It's quarantine time, man. Some of us might be we might let our fucking shit get all, everything grow out, and that might not be the way our lady like us. Our lady might like us the way that they're used to us with, trim and cut or whatever the case may be, right? Try to do that for each other. That shit's really, really important. The little things, the little work you put in. I guess that's the theme of what we've been talking about today. Is just, put in those little pieces of work, the little things, right? Like me, like one thing that that my wife knows about me is that I usually almost never buy myself things. Every once in a while. So she has to buy me things. So she keeps up on buying me things. All right. Like, we have shared money. I think I said that before. But like, we you know, it's one bank account. We're family, been together 20 years, right? So she just spends the money. But if I don't do it, I'll never do it for myself. So she'll do it for me. And those are the little things that she's done for me for a really long time. She knows where to pick up my pieces, and I know where to pick up hers. And by doing that, that's what Dom submissive is all about. She's not submissive in a way that she's lower than me. She's submissive in a way in which she trusts the leader. And that's what the phony motherfuckers will never understand. They think it's about pushing them around and being in control and shit like that, right? And, I was watching the movie Titanic today. And that's how the dude who was engaged to Rose was acting. He was controlling and you're gonna do this and I'm the man and there's a scene where you're going to honor me as a man and he fucking throws the fucking table over and shit. Like how does this motherfucker think she's gonna fall in love with him fucking acting like that? Meanwhile, Jack got the draws, right? Smooth. When I was watching that shit today, I was like, like, yo, like this dude is basically what some of them other dudes out there, like, just because you have money and a woman is like thinks she's into you, and you're not a dominant man because you're not even giving the woman the dom sub thing is a thing of respect. And if you don't have respect, if you're not grounded in respect, it's over. You're just fucking pretending. That's not what this shit is about. That's why I record this show because I think there's a lot to be learned in this shit, man. Nobody taught us shit. There's so much to be learned. I'm still learning. Not a professional, you know, don't have no degrees. I'm just a motherfucker who's been through some shit, you know? Me in Brooklyn, we're the ones, putting ourselves out there for y'all so y'all could find your way. We know how powerful that shit is, even the little ways that we come, because we have a long way to go too. The journey is never over. That's what's so cool about this shit. Is you might be into one thing for a while, and you might retire that, and you move on, you move up, you do some different shit. That's why, like, if you think one way, or if you've always thought a way about sex for a long time, or had a belief about it, certain things, sometimes you should maybe take a step back and just realize that some of the shit you learned was learned behavior, and you might be missing out on some shit. Like, I remember, like, I'm 40 years old. I remember when dudes would brag about they don't eat pussy. It would be like something they would say like out loud to other people, like on some bravado shit. Like, nah, I don't eat pussy. I just knock it down. Like, what? Them motherfuckers, dudes like that who still think like that are losing. At least their women are, because they're not satisfied. That's for sure. For real though. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you learn shit. Like, back in the day in the 90s, and I wouldn't think about shaving my shit. Now it's the only way. You learn, right? There's some people stuck on that shit. That nope, won't do it. Man, you know, my wife enjoys the smooth feel, as do I. I don't mind it either way, but you know, she's been very light in that area anyway. She's blessed. It doesn't get bad anyway. It's beautiful. Um, but yeah, like, you learn some shit, like previous beliefs. It's okay to let go of your previous beliefs. We all believed in Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and shit like that too, didn't you? And Jesus. But you moved on from that when you learned, right? Some of us. Same shit with sexual, things. Re-examine some shit. Take a step back. Something you might have been believed for a long time. Yeah, that shit might be false. You know? You know what else might be false is some dumb shit that you learn on Facebook. That could be false too. So fact check your new shit too. Don't buy into the memes. The shit it's a journey. You know, the thing is like, don't watch don't watch porn for the fantasy that you want and expect your fantasy to go down like that, right? That's not the way it works. Like, so even if you're trying to watch a porn about, okay, let's watch, two couples, or let's watch, a threesome or whatever, and like fantasize about it looking like that. That's never really the way it's gonna look or feel in a real moment. Um, so it's important as you go to have adventures to know to have the right expectations, that it might not feel the way you thought it might. Be prepared for that shit. It's really important. So keep putting in the work, people. Keep at it. You know, um, when you figure out, where you're headed, right? You explore new ideas. You're going step by step. make sure that you care about what your partner is asking you for, right? So make her feel comfortable in whatever the next step of the journey is, right? Like me and me and Brooklyn, we've done so much crazy shit. But just little stuff too, right? Like we would go just, early in the earlier times or whatever, we would just go do fun ass little things. Like I would do these little dares with her down like on the strip or something, and I would just dare her to do little erotic shit and see what happens. And then we would just laugh about it and have fun and kind of be geeked on it all night. Um, I would, have her, take her panties off, at a slot machine or something while she's just sitting there at the slot machine. I'll be like, hand them to me. And she would, and then she would sit there and play slots with her panties open, or her panties off with a little short skirt on, and then I would tell her, okay, now, you know, face this direction. I'd take a little snapshot or some shit. I get like I got pictures. You know what I mean? Like I have a picture of my wife at this one of our favorite places to eat out here is this place called Musashi. If you're one of my VIPs, you might have been there. It's a Japanese steakhouse, where they cook in front of you. And I actually got a picture of my wife topless. And that same night that I went, my buddy, I had a friend who was there, an acquaintance, and he was sitting a table down. And I actually have a picture of my wife topless, and in the background you could see my friend, but my friend didn't see it go down. He was oblivious to the fact that it happened, but I have a topless picture of my wife in the restaurant with my friend in the back who just happened to be there the same night as me. The shit is hilarious, but I don't really show it to anybody. It's just a funny ass picture. But little shit like that, like sometimes, man, like especially if you're in a relationship and you've never like done anything besides just be with each other for your whole relationship without any like real like sexual adventures like that, uh then little shit like that can really go a long way. Like just playing little games. That is as a dude, if you're comfortable enough with little stuff like that, right? Some fellas are never gonna be comfortable with their woman exposing themselves to any other person than them, and that's totally fine. I totally get it and respect it. Um, but me and mines, we just got to a point where that stuff doesn't really matter to us like that, more. Like it's fun to us. Like we get a trip out of it. We would go and drive on the Las Vegas Strip. We'd pull up and we'd be like parked or whatever, or like just pulled up in the red light, and there'd be someone right there, and I would just roll down my window, and my wife would just be like, topless or some shit like that. We'd just be fucking around with people, and we just get a kick out of that shit. Start there, right? Like, so some of y'all motherfuckers, y'all just try to go straight into like whips and chains, strapping shit up, and bringing in other people and doing collars and little shit. Little shit can be a lot of fun for a long time, before you start trying to bring in other human beings and shit. Like, if y'all haven't been together a while and y'all just like instantly trying to bring in other human beings into the cipher. I mean, that's cool. Don't get me wrong. That's all dope. Y'all just might not be the ones for each other though. It might just be some sexual shit, which is cool. Just know that though, right? Just, if you're in a serious relationship with somebody and it's only been a year or two, they're already trying to bring in a lot of other human beings like into the cipher, could be a could be a little red flag there. Might want to analyze that situation seriously. Um, that could be trouble because when you're exploring this shit authentically, then it's not about that other person as much as it is about that shared energy between the two of you. Okay. And I'm only speaking from my perspective. I'm sure there's outliers. I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule. There's so many different types of dynamics in relationships that I could never tell y'all how to do y'all shit, right? That's not my angle. So please don't take it as that. Don't take it as that. I can only speak for self and the little things that I learned from my 20-year case study as a married man. That's basically what it is. I'm learning as I go too, right? But I'm a fearless scientist. I've played with a lot of explosives. Me and my wife, we push the limits. We walk the lines, you know. We push the boundaries and the edges. We like that shit. That's the, you know, we grow. That's how you grow, by challenging yourself. This is a challenge. Talking to y'all right now, it's a huge challenge for me. I'm opening up about sexuality. I'm putting myself out there like that. You know, I'm giving you inner workings of my life and my being. This is a challenge. This is me pushing my boundaries right now with y'all. You feel me? But do it carefully. Do it real carefully and put in the work. That's that seems to be the theme of what's been on my mind today. It's like, yo, like, man, it's just like anybody else in any other, like compare it to any other like profession or something that somebody masters, right? Like you have to put in the work. My fam here in the recording studio, it's not by accident that he's an amazing engineer. He put in the work every single step of the fucking way. He would be absurd if I could just come in and claim that I'm a fucking engineer. He'd be like, "No, you're not." And I could just be like, "Yes, I am." And he'd be like, "No, you're not." It's the same shit. Okay? Like, so if you want to get to a level, with like sexual growth and development, don't expect to get there in one day. You have to put the building blocks in place. You just don't go from, hey, just an idea to doing. You're gonna fall, you're gonna hit your head, and then you're gonna wonder if you want to keep on going. Because the mistakes, oh, they will happen. The awkward interactions, oh, they will happen, right? Remember how I was just talking about when you don't expect your fantasies to go down like a porn? Seriously, yo. Like, especially when you start dealing with other people are fucking weird, right? And, finding people to do all of this shit with is not very easy. If you want sane people, which is again why we do what we do, because we hope to help people achieve that or make it a little easier for people to achieve those types of things without going through some of the things that we've gone through. It always circles back to that. It's not shit ain't that easy, right? And people aren't as disciplined as they think they might be. You know, you give your man a threesome and he fuck around and think he can wants it all the fucking time now. Is he disciplined enough to have a threesome and let that be something that just happened and move forward? Or is he going to be hitting you up for another threesome in 3 more days? I mean, whatever floats your boat, yo. Just know you can't take it back. You know? We getting bloody on this motherfucker. I really got to open up. I can't hold back. You know? Fuck it. We're going to share. I appreciate y'all. Everything I say on this show is coming from a place of love. I promise. because I live this shit. It's therapy. Put in the fucking work. Layer the blocks. Okay? Do the little stuff. Start with a little sizzle before you turn up the flames. Because then you might burn the whole fucking house down. All right? Nurture. Nurture the nurture the adventure. Fellas, make it about her. Ladies, make sure he trusts you. Earn that trust. There's little things about women where men will have trust issues. It's probably one of our biggest things, right? Like, man, it's big, yo. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine being a single man in today's world. It would be very, very hard to trust somebody. I don't know what that's like. I've had my woman for for a long time, and I've had trust since day one, right? Me, speaking of Titanic, me and my wife had that Rose Jack connection. Like we connected, like those two characters connected on that boat from the very jump. It was it. Like that was my shit. Like, like man, I probably would have died for her 3 days later after meeting her. Just like that motherfucker. Call me a simp. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. I love my woman, man. And we had that connection. I don't know where I was going with that shit. I'm getting fired up over here in this episode. We open it up. Yeah. Training your slut just means helping her get free. I guess that's the biggest jewel I can give to the fellas, yo. Stop being so uptight. Let's see your woman's titties. Show me a picture of your woman's titties. At the real Dom King. I got a Twitter. Hit me on the IG. You know how to find me in Vegas too. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with y'all. No, I'm saying though, it is fun to it is fun. It is nice um to let your woman have the degree of freedom, whatever she wants, right? It might not be your desire for your woman to show her titties. Not everyone has to be the same. It's good, right? But if she ever comes to that point, where she wants to do things, be more free, or have whatever type of adventures that you guys agree upon, it's a blast to watch that shit happen. Whether it's between y'all or y'all and some other y'alls or whatever the case may be, right? It's cool, yo. The shit is fun. Ain't no reason to run away or stray away from the things that you desire in your heart. Like if you're married or a long-term relationship person right now and you have some kind of desires in your heart, man, suppressing those motherfuckers is how you activate the real fucking demons. Suppression is what causes the bullshit, yo. Like, like if I could keep it a buck on this motherfucker, fuck it. Let's keep it a buck on this motherfucker. Religion, like religious suppression, is real fucking shit, yo. Like on social media, when my wife puts out like content, sexually risque content, stuff like that, right? Most of the people that she gets inbox with some bullshit and some dick pics and all the crazy shit are people from Arabic countries. They on that heavy on that Islam, right? They heavy on that religion. They so fucking suppressed, man. Like, like you know what I mean? Like all the motherfuckers who send my wife their dick pics, they probably in their daily life are preaching tons and tons of religious bullshit, but they're sending my wife pictures, right? Now, don't get me wrong, yo. I realize that my wife puts sexually risque content out, so I understand that she's gonna get the pictures and the text and the shit like that. That's okay. I don't even care. I'm just saying it's something that it, let me not limit it to that either, right? Because obviously I have nothing wrong with any person or any shit like that. It's not like that. But most of the time, it's not even just the Arabic shit too. There's other motherfuckers out there who send my wife shit, and in their regular, the shit that I've seen in the inbox is incredible, yo. It's incredible. The people who push the sexual suppression are the ones who want to do the craziest shit. Just like the priests, the Catholic priests, we know that story, right? I mean, it goes hand in hand with the religion shit. So if you're super tied up with religion, then you're probably never, ever gonna get with what we talk about on this show. Because you're gonna continue, there's no way. If you can't get that shit out of your brain, there's no way you'll attach to really being free. You'll still be thinking of the religious things that you were taught about sexuality. You can't be free if you're holding on to that shit. That's the fucking truth. What, sex out of wedlock? Are you fucking kidding me? That's what everybody's doing that. But I bet for some reason you felt bad about it. If you are attached to religion. Like the crazy, the crazy sexual suppression that goes on. That's why these motherfuckers is so wired the fuck up. Sexual suppression's a bitch. Look at Star Wars. If they would have just let Anakin have some pussy, then the fucking rebellion or the empire never would have happened. He would have been happy. He would have married Padme. He would have had the twins. They would have lived happily ever after, defending the fucking galaxies. But no, there was a Jedi rule that you can't have marital affairs or sex or children. How are you supposed to make more fucking Jedis then? The fuck? Team Sith, baby. Seriously. Like, what the fuck is that shit about? Anakin went insane over some pussy. He wanted his woman and his kids. What the fuck is wrong with that? It's the same shit, yo. When you try to fucking when you try to take sex away from people, they will do some serious shit. That's why I like when when parents are overly strict about all of that shit. Those are usually the girls that were probably easier to get. They were ready to rebel. I mean, as a parent, that's a fine line. I have to have, my babies are young, so I haven't had to go. I don't have to go through that battle for some years still, but nevertheless, it's a battle. I get it. That's a fine line as a parent. But suppression and repression, nah, man, that can't be the fucking way. We're sexual beings. That's why we're all here. Sex is powerful, which is probably why they don't want us to the religions don't want us to discover the power in sex. Why is it all the religions are against sex except for just for conceiving. You know what I'm saying? Most of that shit is to hide the truth from us, right? So if that's the case, that means they're hiding the powers of sex. Do you know why I know? Because I'm discovering some of the powers of sex. And here I am with y'all talking to y'all now. That's why we're here. That's what I'm saying. So you have to disconnect from that shit. You have to revisit. All right? Uninhibited. So just meaning double back and go to your inhibitions. Right? Go to the things that hold you back. What do you be nervous about? What are you scared of? Why do you think this way about a particular sexual act? What don't you do? And it's cool if you revisit it and you still think to yourself, you know what? Nah, that's not for me. Cool. At least go back and revisit it a few times every now and then because you might change on a few of them things. You might open up to something, especially if you have someone to be comfortable with. That's a big part of it. Having the right partner to do the right things is super important. Like in an imaginary world where if I wasn't with my woman, I wouldn't be doing any of this shit with some other new random woman. That's not my fetish. My fetish is my woman. I do this shit with her because I have put in the work with her. You wouldn't just catch me with a new bitch doing all the same shit. That would never happen. So I hope that says something. Build a foundation. Get fancy down the road, right? Like when you're building a house, you don't get to do any of the fancy shit until you've put in all of the fucking groundwork, the foundation, right? The walls, the plumbing, the electric, the flooring. Think about all that shit sexually, right? You're laying all of those foundations. Those foundations start with day one. You don't get to put up, you know, the pretty shit until the very, very end. So build your house right. You build it on a shaky foundation, you know what happens. It's going to be trash, right? How many couples out there have had a threesome and then probably broke up because of the threesome? Yeah, you know that happens all the time, probably. Can you imagine? Don't be a victim, yo. Don't be a victim to the foolery. Don't think you can just jump into some shit you're not ready for. Make sure. Look at your partner. If you're listening to this alone, go home to your partner. Look at them. You know? What do you want to do for them? You know? That's what I look at. How do I pleasure my woman? What kind of experience can I give her that'll just knock her fucking socks off, yo? How can I make a lifelong memory for her on some freaky, nasty shit? That's the type of shit I get off on, right? Like I once I once told her, so on some training shit, right? Once told her that I was gonna have a bunch of, not a bunch, but I was gonna have a few people I knew over to the crib. And Now, this is advanced stuff, by the way, right? This is years after doing the little peekaboo shit I was telling you about earlier. So I said, yo, I'm gonna have a few people over. And while I have my people over, I just want you to come downstairs. And nobody's gonna say anything, baby. I'm gonna blindfold you. I'm gonna lead you downstairs. And you're gonna masturbate in front of everybody. And she said, okay, daddy. Because again, she trusts me. She trusts me. Now I know, you know, it was probably a little nervy for her because she would not know who I invited over. I just said a few people. So I had my people over, we're chilling, and I brought her downstairs. And I sat her on her little chair. And she sat there and she fucking masturbated. And she came hard as fuck. It was a sight to see. It was beautiful and amazing. And she was so turned on. But what had happened was is I had showed my peoples out before I let her downstairs and she didn't know it. So she just did it for me, but she thought she was doing it for everybody. And that's how you make some motherfucking shit sizzle. Now that's some game for you. But it took work to get to that, right? There's work involved. Don't think your woman's gonna do some crazy shit like that if you haven't put in the work on the front side. I think that's all for today, yo. Train your slut. It's in the books. This is Dom King, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.